On this episode of The Whiskey Tornado, we review Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Batch B521. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Whiskey Tornado. I'm your host, Lance. Today, we are reviewing Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Batch B521. I apologize for not doing a review sooner. I know it's been a hot minute. I have actually been very busy preparing for Bardstown Distillery's World's Top Whiskey Taster Contest. I'm one of 6 that made regional finals, and the competition is this Thursday, September 23rd in Chicago at a rooftop bar at Navy Pier. So if you guys haven't subscribed to Bardstown's channel, do so. You'll be able to watch me compete against 5 other people to go to finals for World's Top Whiskey Taster Contest. So super excited for that. But today we're talking about Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Batch B521. This is a very controversial batch. A lot of people like it, a lot of people don't. It comes in at 118 proof, so quite a bit lower proof than normal batches. I actually was not able to get my hands on a bottle, but thanks to one of our longtime channel supporters, Ed Sturger, he sent me a sample, and that is what we are going to taste today, and we're going to give it the Whiskey Tornado score. For those of you new to the channel, I will quickly explain our scoring system. We have 7 categories. The first 2 categories are handicapped. Those categories are appearance and availability. Then I move on to the nose, palate, finish, body, and value. At the end, we add all those up. Any score of 3 or better is bar worthy, meaning you should get that for your bar. You're going to love it. Any score of 4 or better means it is bunker worthy, and you should probably grab a couple extra just in case you can't find them in the future. All right, with all that being said, let's get into the appearance of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Batch B521. So as you can see, guys, all I could get this year was a sample bottle. I did not actually get a bottle, but the bottle's the same as in previous years. And if you guys have followed the channel for any length of time, you know I'm not crazy about the bottle. It's not bad. It's just okay. For the juice that's in the bottle, I wish it was a little different. I wish they would spice it up a little bit. I will say the bottles, if you have a lot of them on your shelf, a lot of Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs, they look really good. But the bottle just doesn't wow me. The packaging doesn't wow me. So I'm going to give it a 0.6, a little better than average, but nothing to write home about. Again, this is a handicapped category, so don't take this category too seriously. All right, moving on to availability. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, these are hunted bottles. They're not as rare as, say, Stag Junior or basically any Buffalo Trace bottle. I can find these if I hit my stores on a regular basis. I will run across these, but it's still hard to find. They're not there all the time. We're going to give it less than average on availability. We're going to give it a 0.3. All right, let's move on to the nose on Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Batch B521. Nose is really nice on this, I think. First thing I got was lots of honey. Big burst of honey. I get that a lot on Elijah Craig, the Elijah Craig small batches. But this has like a little bit of mustiness to it. A little bit of that Rick House mustiness with honey. Maybe some like graham crackers. There's a little bit of saltiness too. A little bit of like salty nuttiness, which I got on batch C920, which I actually enjoyed. So nose on this is nice. It's not knocking my socks off. Certainly better than average. We're going to give the nose a 0.6. Okay, moving on to the palate. Cheers, everybody. Palate, again, the first note I got was a lot of like honey and tobacco, which I like. Honey, tobacco, oak, a little bit of salty peanut notes there. what I'm getting on this is not this like crazy ride. So I'm not getting like some flavors on the front of my palate and then different flavors on the mid and then different on the back of the palate. It's just like kind of one solid note, which I don't mind. I like more of a ride, but this is fine for what it is. Yeah, it's good. Caramel, honey, tobacco, some oak and nuttiness. Really nice palate. I'm not sure, why everybody's hating on this so much. I know it's not as good as the B batches, and we're going to try to prove that in our Friday night bourbon fight. I'm going to take batch B521 against batch B520 from last year in a blind and see if we like it or not. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, if you don't have those little bell notifications on, turn those on so you'll get notified Friday when I release that video. All right, on the taste here. Yeah, it's very nice. It doesn't fight you. Again, that 118 proof versus 125 plus proof. There is a difference there. It may be a little spikier, but still not bad. Not as dense as previous years, I don't believe. We're going to find out Friday if that's true or not. But still nice. I'm going to give it a 0.7. It's certainly better than average. It's not anything like if I bought this, I would not be mad. I've seen some reviews where people are just pissed off and don't like it and act like it's disgusting. It's not that. This is still good bourbon, guys. It's not as good as last year's, but still really good. We're going to give the palate a 0.7. All right, moving on to the finish, guys. It's got a good finish, better than average. Certainly not blowing my socks off again, but nothing to be mad about. It's nice. It's pleasurable. It's giving me a hug, but not too much of a hug. It's really nice, better than average. We're going to give the finish a 0.6. All right, moving on to the body. This is velvety. It's creamy. I don't know what else you would want. Again, it's not the most viscous thing I've ever had, but it's certainly better than average. We're going to give it a 0.7. All right, moving on to the value, we are talking about a $65 bottle that is a 12-year-old barrel-proof expression from Heaven Hill. This is right up there with some of the best value bourbon you can buy. Last year, I gave the B batches a 1 just because what was in the bottle knocked my socks off. Some of the best bourbon I've had. This isn't quite up to that, but still the value is really good. $65 for a 12-year barrel-proof expression. We're going to give it a 0.9. I can't give it quite as much as last year because last year's were just better, and you have to kind of factor in taste when you're talking about value. So we're going to give it a 0.9. Still exceptional value for what you're getting. Would not be mad paying $65 for this. For this year's batches, the B521, I would probably go up to $75, $80. For last year's batches, the B batches, I would probably honestly pay up to $100 for any of the batches from last year. I wouldn't go up to that for this year's batch, but I'd pay $75 and feel just fine. All right, guys, that brings the overall score for Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Batch B521 to a 3.95. Just under bunker worthy. Guys, I think people are being too critical on this. If I'm being honest, I think they're not happy with the lower proof. Does it stack up to last year's? Absolutely not, but it's still good. You're still getting a lot of value for your money here. It's still a good bourbon. Anybody that had this blind would think this was a great bourbon, wouldn't complain about it. So I think it deserves that score. Definitely bar worthy, right under bunker worthy. Still an exceptional bourbon. You're getting a 12-year barrel proof for $65. What more could you want, guys? All right, again, a huge shout out to Ed Sturger for supplying me with a sample since I wasn't able to find a bottle. Tune in on Friday for Friday Night Bourbon Fight where we taste this blind against last year's batch and see if I know what I'm talking about. All right, guys, until next time, cheers.